Venu Srinivasan joining us now, Chairman and Managing Director at TVS. This is also on the news of the GST rate revision that's possible for two-wheelers. The Finance Minister addressing that just yesterday. Mr. Srinivasan, thanks so much for joining us. Want to get your reactions to this, the fact that she's actually talking about it now, the kind of quantum that you think would be beneficial for the industry.
Basically, I think it's essential good for daily use, and therefore motorcycles, scooters and mopeds should come down to 18% from the current 28%.
Okay. Mr. Srinivasan, what's the likelihood, or how encouraged is the industry by the fact that she's talking about this? This is clearly a step towards revival and taking note of the fact that it's something that needs to be addressed currently in the economy, even as we head towards festive season. How soon do you see this coming through in all likelihood?
The first thing that I want to say, the government has been very responsive, and FM herself was immediately responded to what we said and said that is correct. It is neither sinful nor a luxury product. There is no reason for it to pay 28%, and we welcome that and we thank her for responding so immediately. And the government has taken a series of measures, as we have seen over the last 3 months. And I think that, along with the rate cut, the reason why we are saying rate cut is 28% for no other product of daily use by the common man is at 28%. How soon it will come, that depends on the GST Committee of Ministers to decide.
What has been your experience about demand, how it has moved historically, let's say in 2008 and 2014 or 15 when GST rates have been borne down? Is there an immediate elasticity between lower rates or lower taxes and consumer demand?
That way, GST went up when it was announced at a very high slab. Second, we also had a string of BS4, BS6. We also had Supreme Court coming and saying that you have to have 5 years of insurance. All in all, with the various, and I'm not denying that any of these are required for the good of society, but cumulatively what happened, all of this put our costs up together almost by 50%, 60%, 40-45% to the entry-level product and any product with an ABS at 60%. So I think this is too steep an increase to hit the common man with. And so at least one relief they could give was what should have been done originally, fix our GST rate at 18%.
If the GST rate is slashed, can I safely assume that everything would be passed on to the consumer?
Of course. That goes without saying.
Okay. A point, Mr. Srinivasan, we were discussing in the morning is that while government has now hinted that a GST cut is coming, do you think from a consumer standpoint, if there is no decision which comes in the next 15 or 20 days, it could actually have an impact on festival demand because the consumer will suddenly see rate cut is coming and they may defer their purchases, which could have an impact on festival demand?
I think those are hypothetical questions. We will see what happens. I think market won't
I have to just permit me to ask you one question on your... Right. If I may just ask you one question on what is otherwise happening to the two-wheeler demand, sir?
First, I would like to say the market won't indefinitely wait for a rate. If it doesn't happen after some time, people get on with their life. So I don't think it will be affected. Secondly, two-wheeler demand is coming back to about last year's level. But you must take into account the 2 months we had zero sales. So even if nothing happens, we are 16% lower than last year. Hope to end the year with about 16 to 20% lower than last year total sales as it stands. For the whole industry. We, of course, I hope we will do better.
We had Mr. Pawan Goenka 2 days ago, and we have Vinod Dasari coming up slightly later in the show, and all of them are indicating that look, there is a challenge because the supply chain problems have not been sorted because of lockdowns and partial lockdowns which are happening with lot of vendors. Is that your experience as well?
Yeah, it is happening. It is not a smooth production line. Fits and starts. Even our own employees who come walk in the morning and have the temperature taken, suddenly 40, 50 people from the line are asked to go on quarantine. So this is something that you have to learn to live with. I think my own assessment is that for the next 12 to 15 months, virus may come in more waves. India hasn't got the first wave yet. Other countries are going through the second wave. The second wave is clearly milder than the first wave.
When I spoke to you last, and I promise this will be the last question, when I spoke to you last in the month of May, you said, look, priority of my workers, priority of their families is the importance. But now things are looking up, now things are stabilized. What is their priority in terms of, bringing things back to normal in order to bring things back on track now?
See, I expect the first wave in India to be over by September, October. This is what the epidemiologists say. I am not an epidemiologist. But therefore, September, October, the first wave, we come down from 60,000, 70,000 a day. We come down to, let us say, something like 20,000, 10,000 a day. Then with distancing, wearing masks, physical hygiene, I think we should just get on with life with spacing, restaurants, with spacing and distancing and cleaning in hotels. I think we have to slowly get life back to normal. But we have to wait till September, October. I think we cannot do it when we are running at 60,000 a day.